What's going on, girl?
Everything's getting lined up the way it should be.
Okay, and you started a new job, and how are you doing with that?
Very well.
Okay, no fear behind that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fear.
Lots.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Last week was a real shit show.
Okay.
But this week is better.
Okay.
And towards the end of last week, it started, every day was better and better.
So isn't it so funny, we walk around with this fear, right? We have the fear of the unknown. And so you're going to start a new job. And so you're afraid of letting go of what you had and afraid of what you will get or what you won't get. And so we walk around with this angst. I actually put that on my gratitude list the other day, letting go of that angst or realizing that that angst in the long run doesn't serve us, right? It didn't make your job any better or any worse. It just gives us a stomachache and a reason to use.
Yeah.
And resentments, which is what we were talking about before.
100%.
Yeah, and allows us to feel resentful of ourselves for maybe making the wrong decision, of other people for not showing up the way that we wanted them to show up, like we have any control over how somebody else shows up. But still, all of those things that we play over and over in our head, maybe for people that we think should have supported us more, didn't support us more, all of this stuff that we go through, that starts that chaos in our head, right?
I'm still doing that every day. Like
Yeah.
as far as clients following and whatever.
Yeah,
I got a good grasp on it.
good, because it does. It keeps your head like da 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 da, and you guys da 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 happens when we're in recovery. But our hope always is that it happens less and less and less. So that kind of the chaos is something. And what happens when you're in that chaos? You actually reach out to other people to share your chaos with them, so that they could be in your chaos with you, right? And then you start that spiral of chaos, 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 like resentment, anger, fear, and those are the things that we use over. So those are the things that for emotional eaters or emotional starvers, we either use or starve ourselves over or do Percocet.
That's exactly what we created as our coping tool, our Google. Those are the things that we've done for so long, and continuously we keep going back to those same behaviors. But it's not so much just the behaviors, it's really the feelings behind us that really motivate those behaviors, because we're not dealing with them.
Right, and those feelings, like we said, are always fear.
Right.
Right?
Always
Any negative feeling that we have is fear.
Right.
Fear of not getting what we want, or fear of losing what we have.
I would say the last 2 weeks I really ate like crap too.
Okay, and so thank you so much for sharing about that. So that's super important. So I'm going to say that out loud, make sure that everybody heard you. And so with your honesty, you said, because you were doing real well, and you were doing really well spiritually too. And then something happened, right? This event happened and you were scared. And so your Google, your default is to use, because now I'm feeling fear and I don't want to feel anything, especially fear. So what am I going to do? I'm going to eat those feelings away.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
then what happens? You eat the feelings away, and then after you do that, you feel
Just fantastic.
like shit. So now, not only am I scared, but I'm scared and I feel guilty
Right,
and
like
ashamed
crap.
and like shit about myself.
Yeah.
So now I've added chaos to my chaos.
Right. So
Right?
I got it together Monday
Good
and
girl.
started eating right.
Good girl.
And
And so we're going to find out in recovery that the more that we learn to take care of that fear, to talk about it, to reach out maybe to, I don't know, me, or to you, or to somebody, to reach out and say, hey, I'm going to go through this right now, and I know I have to go through it, and I'm scared shitless, and let them give you your 15 seconds of misery so that they can help you step into the solution.
But I kept thinking, like, even when I was eating bad stuff, like, if it was a pill problem, I wouldn't be taking pills right now. Like, I would.
You would or you
I
wouldn't be?
wouldn't. Because I know taking pills is bad.
Oh my God! So again, wait.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm a worse addict than you are.
But you're not.
I know that you know that, but
Right.
you even think, guys, one of the problems with understanding food addiction and emotional overeating and realizing that, and let society or socially have that realization, is that you guys don't believe it yourself.
I was thinking as I was eating whatever I was eating, like, this is like taking a handful of pills. Felice would be like, this is like taking a handful of
Yeah,
pills.
it's like eating 100 milligrams of Percocet,
And it wasn't stopping
right?
me. And I did it.
Right,
And now I'm
right,
done.
right. And you still rationalize, well, this isn't as bad as
Right.
what I would do, right? Because
I'm
I
still
would,
making
yeah,
excuses.
exactly. And it's only food. I love that it's only food. And so
That's
you
right.
guys,
And we have to eat.
you have to eat. And you guys, it ain't never about the food, and it's never about the alcohol, and it's never about the Percocet. Whatever we are picking up to change the way that we're feeling. Instead of recognizing the feeling, which is what you were talking with me about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of recognizing what the feeling is, knowing that feelings aren't facts, knowing that it's just a feeling so we can work through it and it can go away without using, right? Without stuffing ourselves, no matter what we're stuffing ourselves with,
My
right?
life is going in such a great direction now, though, that I know that I'm not worried about falling back on eating.
Okay, and you had said my life is going in such a great direction right now, and so it's cool to ride that little bit of a buzz of happiness, which is amazing. But we have to remember too that life is going to show up.
Absolutely.
And people are going to quit their jobs,
Yeah.
right? And people are going to have hurricanes, and people are going to break up, and people are going to die,
Right.
and all of that stuff is going to happen. And so we prepare ourselves with the tools of recovery so that when something happens and we're feeling something that we don't want to feel, that at least we know first things first to recognize what it is that we're feeling and to reach out to somebody else to help us through. Because you guys, if we could get clean on our own, you would have been clean how long ago?
Right, and if it was about the
That's what I
food,
should
and
say.
honestly, if it was about the food, bariatric surgery would have fixed me. Because if it was about the food and reducing the size of my stomach and having the sleeve, that would have been the cure. I lost the weight, but I still wasn't happy.
Right.
So really it's got very little to do about the food. And until I started taking my addiction seriously and putting my recovery first, which is where I'm at today, the most important thing in my world right this second is my health, my happiness, and my recovery, and anything else comes second. Because unless I'm healthy and happy, nothing else matters. That feeling of demoralization, unless you've actually been through it, where you reach that rock bottom place where you hate yourself to the point that you want to kill yourself, or you feel ashamed and guilty, where you just really, within yourself, you just have that feeling, why did I do that? Why couldn't I just not eat this or not do that and stick to the diet and do these things and beat ourselves up? So by being in recovery, that's never a question because we're not picking up. Because we know the minute we do sometimes when we relapse. But I'm saying when we're in a program and we work in the program and we're saying to someone and picking up the phone and say, fuck, today I just really I'm feeling like I've got to go through that drive-through. I'm getting these cravings. I ate. I know it was my portion, but it hit my toes. It didn't hit my stomach, and I'm just craving stuff. But instead of going through that drive-through, we picked up the phone, we did something, did a meeting, worked our program, puts us in a very different space than when we're sitting on our own.
And we need to remember first too, you guys, when we're having those feelings, again, they're feelings, right? Again, they're just feelings. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling emotional. I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling whatever it is that's that feeling. And our default goes back to, well, I don't like the way that I feel, and so I will change the way that I feel by picking up something. It's learning to recognize that I am feeling something, learning to recognize what that feeling is, and then having a program so that you know what to do when you're having those feelings, because you're gonna have those feelings.
I love that you brought this up and that we're talking about this, because we were talking
Okay.
about this a little while ago. And how that shows up for everyone is very different. And I learned that through this last relapse. I learned that those feelings that I get is the minute I start feeling resentful, that to me is now my cue that something's up. I'm either losing focus on my program, I'm not doing what I should be doing, I don't have an accountability buddy or someone who I'm working with in terms of keeping someone I can call or friends to call. I'm not doing the things that I should be doing. But it comes up for me in the form of resentment. So at least now, because remember, for years I stuffed my feelings. I don't know what feelings look like. I don't know how to deal with them. I get overwhelmed with them. There's a lot of crap happening in my world. People get sick, people die, but it's stuff we need to deal with. Whereas at this stage, I'm in a different place. Before, I had these unrelenting standards of looking good and not being weak in front of other people, and I thought expressing my feelings and telling people how I felt was a sign of weakness. Now all of a sudden these feelings still come out in other ways, but I'm able to sit with them. You know, feeling sad is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just what it is. And sometimes you have to just sit with it and let it go. You can't control it. Well, I can't control it. I can't change it. I can feel sad. You know, there's certain things that you are going to feel sad about. Your parents get ill. I mean, there are things that you feel sad about. And not being able to feel was so foreign for me. I panic. It was so much easier being able to numb things, because when I'm numbing, I don't need to deal with it and I don't need to feel it. And I was brought up in that family that didn't, we were a loving family, but the thing is, we came from that generation, post-Holocaust generation. My grandparents couldn't deal with their feelings. They had lost so much, it was so bottled up inside them. They were Holocaust survivors. So that sense of being able to talk about feelings isn't something that I was equipped to do as well, because my parents didn't do it. My grandparents didn't do it. It's something that I didn't realize how essential it was until I started hurting myself.
And that goes for pretty much so everybody. So this whole new age, you know, my PhD is in positive psychology. Positive psychology. Like, who would have thought that there would be psychology that had to do with positive, instead of looking back at how your mother didn't tie your shoelaces when you were 2. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is that most of us have come from a place that we've learned from either our parents or our society, or that if we talk about how we feel, it makes us weak. If we ask for help, especially, it makes us weak, right? And so if we're talking about our feelings, or if we're asking our feelings, or if we're asking for help, if that's weakness, and I'm worried about not looking a certain way, which by the way we know is our ego, right? My ego is what your opinion of me is. Not how I feel about myself, but what your opinion of me is. So I allow your opinion of me to let me know, to be my barometer for how it is that I'm actually feeling. So, but a lot of us grew up with that, where children should be seen and not heard. You know, don't say anything unless you have something nice to say. You know, be helpful, whatever. And so a lot of us have never learned to say the things that we felt, because I think that if we did, we wouldn't be sitting in this room.
Isn't it ironic? I'm more comfortable having a conversation with you of how much I want to earn every single year, and how much school fees are, and where I want to go on vacation, and I'm so comfortable discussing these other things that are really so immaterial on a greater picture, than actually sitting down and actually connecting with the things that really impact myself and my family and my world in such a tremendous way. Because when I'm miserable, everyone around me is miserable, because I'm a mother. So I take it out on my kids, I take it out on my husband, and the worst person I do is taken out on me. So just the atmosphere that I bring is just so negative.
Yeah, and so most importantly too, you said the person that I take it out on the most is myself. And so the other people, you yell at your kids, sometimes they care, sometimes they don't.
Right.
Right? They learn to ignore you. They
Right.
also learn to stop saying how they feel because you're a bitch. Right? And they
100%.
can't come to you because you're not open and honest about yourself. And so, so we pay a whole lot of attention, especially in society, about the stuff that we do and the things that we have, as opposed to the way that we feel. And we know that if we don't take care of the way that we feel, we might have some stuff, but we'll never enjoy it, right? We could be making lots of money. I've made lots of money and still have been full sad. God bless you. I've looked really great on the outside when I was falling down on the inside. You know, when I was actually committing suicide, literally. When I tried to kill myself, I still looked good on the outside for a while. You know, and so what is it that we give a shit about, that other people, the way that other people look at us, when we really can't look at ourselves? And so we're going to learn to take a look at our feelings and say, okay, I felt like that. Okay, I was pissed off. And find out what it is. By the way, resentment is never about the other person. It's always about you. So resentments will always come back to us. Why do I resent you? I resent you because you're making more money than me? No. I resent myself because I don't feel good enough. I resent you because you're spending more time with her. No, I resent myself because I don't know how to be alone.
So when I was 140 pounds heavy, I saw this great post that I wish my friends would be fat, so at least I'd look thin. That's basically that whole sense of feeling, is that constant comparison. And living on that outside on a very shallow level damages us on the inside, because something shifts when we step into authenticity and honesty in terms of what are we feeling, why are we doing this? Why am I really feeling resentful? Opens up a whole different conversation.
Yeah, and I actually am not sure if we put the chicken before the egg right there.
Sorry.
And so, no, I'm so glad that you said that, really. And so you said when we're acting a certain way on the outside, which is true, right? We're acting a certain way on the outside, which makes us feel more alone, right? Is what you were saying. So that's 1,000% true. Is that what you were saying?
100%.
And the thing is that it starts out because we feel so alone on the inside.
Right.
Right? So we feel like crap about ourselves for some reason. We haven't learned how to deal with something, right? And so then we make it our point to look good out here, which adds to our need for question. Okay, which adds to our loneliness that we already have, right? Yes, question. Someone's got a question.
So, Leanne says, can you
Hi, Leanne.
Hi, Leanne.
say that again, please? Why do we use or eat? Fear of not getting what we want, or what?
Okay, so fear, all of our negative feelings are fear-based. Fear means I'm going to lose what I have, or I'm not going to get what I want. So we could relate that back to anything, right? We could relate it back to anger. We could relate it back to even really anything that we're struggling with is always going to come back to whatever the fear of that situation is. Is that okay? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm like really confused about
Mhm.
is when you say fear.
Mhm.
Like Saturday, I was feeling the best like I ever felt.
Mhm.
I had the best night of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and then Saturday, and then Sunday, like all I wanted to do was use not the food but smoke pot, and that's what I had texted you about that, and I don't understand, like if I was feeling not fearful, but literally I had the best night of my life when I did a stage presentation.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what that's about. So with addicts, and I'm sure you're gonna jump in with me with this. So with addicts, first of all, we're talking about negative feelings. You're talking about something different. So you're asking, how come I want to use if I'm happy?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how long have you been using? Years and years and years, 173 years.
Yeah.
So you've been using for 173 years. It's what you know and it's what you used to.
Right.
It's what your brain chemistry is.
Yeah.
So an addict is, I'm feeling good, I could be better. Did you ever take one hit of a joint when 2 hits of a joint's gonna get you higher? Because I never ate one friggin' Percocet.
Exactly.
Right. So if 1 was good, 15 was better.
Right.
So if I'm happy, I can get high and be even happier.
Okay.
Right? Right? So we're never quite comfortable with the way that our brain feels, period.
Okay.
We were talking about fear before, so that's different. But you don't have to be fearful to use. You could just be to use because you're an addict. Your brain is different than other people's brains, and that's your truth. How much clean time have you had? In any length of time, from food,
Oh.
from food, alcohol, cigarettes, pot, all of them. How much?
Years ago was 8
Okay,
years, but
let's
a
talk-
month
yeah.
now. I'll go a month.
You've gone a whole entire month without
No,
smoking.
no, not
Excuse me.
now.
Oh, I thought it was the
No,
No.
Oh, sorry. That's just keep
you've gone a whole entire. I love you.
Oh.
A whole entire month without using.
No.
No. So you haven't given your brain any time to get clean. So remember, until our brain gets clean, trying to deal with our recovery is almost ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you ever try to talk to an alcoholic when they're drinking? I used to love when people used to tell me when I was fucked up, pardon me, that I was fucked up. Really? And would you like to have the conversation about that right now? Now that I'm high, do you want to tell me why I shouldn't be high? I don't really think
Overeating.
so.
I'm
Right?
overeating.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
really.
Did you have to eat that third piece of
Yeah,
cake?
exactly.
I think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. So shut the F up, man. I'm in the middle of active addiction, right?
So when you're happy, it doesn't have to. I could get happier.
Right, and
It
look
was,
at me. You can say no.
Hmm.
You have a community that you could reach out to. So the first thing is to put your hand up and say, I'm an addict, I'm in trouble, and I need help. That's number 1, right? Honesty, first step.
I didn't use, but it was, yeah.
It was calling your name.
Well, because I saw it the night before again with my son. and
Okay,
then-
but first we got to do is say, I have a problem. right?
Oh.
And so whatever the addiction is, it doesn't mean I can have a little bit of it. Doesn't make it have one shot. People who are food addicts, it doesn't mean I can have one piece of bread, because it doesn't work. The dopamine receptor in our brain don't allow our brain to work like that. That's going to be the end of the discussion. So anybody else who wants to have a discussion about that, I'm never, ever, ever going to change from that ever.
I just want to say something. I commend you, I really do. Going through everything that you did, you didn't use, you put your ass in a seat that you really deserve, that you earn at a meeting tonight, and good for you. You know, your recovery is something that you really starting to take seriously, and you're starting to work on. I mean, you really want to get healthy, and I commend you.
And you know, and I'm going to say that and we say this, you know what, you show up. And showing up is really important, right? Because showing up is taking that little teeny tiny step toward your recovery. You do your gratitude lists, right? And I know that you relapse. I know that you do. And you keep doing your best in some way. So at some point, it'll be about you putting your hand up and saying, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done feeling like shit. I'm done feeling guilty. I'm done feeling like I have to spend the next half hour in front of everybody talk about how I relapsed again. I'm done trying to convince you, Laura, I'm done trying to convince you that it's okay if I have one piece of bread, and it's okay if I have just one shot. And really, I have a prescription from a doctor, so it's okay if I have just 2 or 22 Percocets today. However many I want to have that
Just
day.
that sandwich.
Thank you. Thank you. And so it's about being abstinent to begin with, right? While we're trying to get the recovery thing. Because once we're off to the races, we're off to the races. After you said you ate crappy. After the first day that you eat crappy, do you care?
Oh, it was the 2 caramel M&Ms,
Yeah.
and then it was like a downward slide.
Yeah, that's the way it is. So your 2 caramel M&Ms is my 20 milligrams oxycodone, man.
Yeah,
It don't ever stop there. Never.
And then all the garbage was in the house from the hurricane. Not that I'm making excuses, but I am.
Yes, you are.
But I said
Thank
that I
you
am.
for saying that.
So
Yeah,
you
you're
cleaned the
awesome.
garbage out of the
And-
house. Well done.
So, I mean,
Can't let the kids eat that; they'll get fat,
the problem
right?
is it was really hard to like buy food that was gonna stay. You know, because the way I'm eating, I shop the outside of the grocery store, and that stuff doesn't stay.
Okay. Okay, and
But I did buy a lot of fruit and stuff, and I
Okay.
tried, but I didn't succeed.
okay, right, and you didn't succeed, and
No.
thank you for your honesty.
Yeah. Oh, now
Because
I got it back together on Monday, and this is a new week, and here I
and
go.
you're not beating yourself up about
No.
it. And you came
No, I
to a
know I
meeting.
did.
I was like, "Where's Molly? Where's Molly? Where's Molly? Where's
And
Molly?
I'm
Where's
sick,
Molly?
I'm
Where's
sick.
Molly?"
And you know what? Not coming to the meeting since what is it, like 3 weeks? It's terrible for me. Terrible. Like I need to come here twice a week. I need to be here.
Yeah. Can I just jump into something with what
Of course.
Suzanne was saying as well? I tend to fear success. It's a weird thing with me. I have these unrelenting standards, and when things are going well, I tend to sabotage myself because I've come to realize that I fear success because I don't think I'm worth it. So that is something which is my own personal fear that I have to work through. Oh, can I just share? Can I just show you reading fantastic book? It says feel the fear
we're not
and
making
do
any money
it
for the
anyway.
plug,
No,
by
we're not
the way.
making any. Great book.
Read it. I'm gonna read it too.
I have it.
Hi.
Hi.
You don't have to say your name.
Oh,
So
you can.
I'm Felice, or you can say your
My
name.
name's Sarah.
Hi,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for coming to join us. Is there anything else you want to share with us? She's like, I'm with these crazy friggin' people. I don't even know.
No.
You're talking, you're talking, you're talking, you're talking.
I guess like I'm not in a recovery place. So
That's cool.
and I haven't spoke to anyone in a long time. I don't really talk about what I ever go through, so it's like I'm feeling a little emotional because I have so
Good.
much built up right now.
Good.
So just kind of listening and just taking in, soaking in.
And so I'm going to let you know that how you feel. When I first started going to AA meetings, you guys, I used to sit in the front so nobody could see me and cry for the 50 minutes that meeting was. Cry for the whole friggin' meeting. And I didn't even know I was crying. I just knew that I was crying. I was sad and I was scared and I was pissed off and I was resentful at myself and I was resentful at every other effing person that I ever knew because I am this way, because I got this way, because I wasn't that way, because I can do this, because I can't do that, because I mean, all of that stuff that you have, which is a lot of the chaos that you're going to have in your head right now. I commend you for showing up, We are a bunch of strangers. It's not even like you and I met in a meeting and you
Right,
decided to come, where you knew a little bit of how nuts we are. You just showed up. So God bless you. And everybody out there, just showing up is always that little teeny tiny, even if it's a millimeter toward you stepping into your recovery, then it's friggin' absolutely commendable.
So I just want to share something with you. I just got back from New York. Hi, New York. It was really stressful. My mother's been extremely ill. My father's very frail. Yada yada. It's just a slap in the face. I'm getting old, and so are the people that I love.
Very old.
But the thing is, it also brought up a lot of resentments and a lot of emotions. And we did a family workshop, African style workshop, which was awesome. A whole different story. But I've been extremely emotional. I've been crying for 5 days. But the one thing I know is I'm an addict. And the minute I can actually identify it, it makes it easier for me to work with it. I'll hold my ass into meetings. Couldn't find them, thank God for Google. Thank you, Google Maps. Hold myself into meetings. Didn't care for as what day of the week it was. Before I used to be structured as Yom Kippur, as whatever it is. I cannot go, but the thing is, I was falling apart. I stood in front of 100 people. I never cry in public. That was the way I was brought up. I bawled my eyes out, and do you want to know something? I didn't care. I had to get up and talk, because if I knew if I kept it inside me, it was going to destroy me. And the more I bottle up, the more it hurts me. But the minute you open up that faucet, you start realizing, you start letting feelings out, and you can't control them. And it's okay. It's okay to sit with sadness or whatever those are, because it's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah, and especially in here, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you, there ain't nothing that you're feeling right now that, if not all of us, that at least one of us has felt.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going on in your head, and there's nothing that you've ever done. And I love to tell this story. So I'm working with this food addict. I was her sponsor. And she writes her whatever step we're on, we're probably on first step, right, on honesty or whatever. And she tells me, and she's scared to tell me, and finally she tells me, and she's crying, that she used to clear the plate for her parents. She was young. Clear the plate for her parents, and she would put tinfoil over the top of the garbage. So she would scrape out the plates, and then after, when everybody was asleep, she would go outside and she would eat the food, eat everybody's leftover food, and in the tinfoil. And I was like, and? And she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, and? Like, really?
I've done it.
Anyway, we think the stuff that we did just makes us so exceptional and so horrible. It don't.
So special.
You know, exactly. Yeah, our addiction never makes us special, you guys.
Yeah, you're just a worse addict than me.
Except I'm just a worse addict than all you guys. But our recovery can make a difference. You talking about what's bothering you might save somebody else's life tonight. So don't ever think what you're going to say is stupid or sad, because I can promise you that there have been things already. There have been things that we have people reaching out to us from friggin' Ireland, man. I got contacted from somebody in Ireland. We get contacted from people
We have
that...
people on Sundays calling us from Israel, from South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, people watch us from around
And
the
we're
world.
nuts, you know? And we talk about using
Speak
and
about
me.
yourself.
And I talk about being clean for 7 years, and I talk about relapse and how horrible that is and how ashamed I was. And my shrink and I talk about it every week, because I still hold on to a lot of that shame. I look great, by the way, on the outside, spiritually, but still, I still have this little bit of stuck in shame that I still need to work through. So, you know, so however you're feeling, it's cool. And I'm gonna let you know that you're never gonna say anything in a room like this. I don't know if you've ever been to an AA meeting or an NA meeting or any of that stuff, or an OA meeting, or no. So, but you could say something to anybody in recovery, and that's all they're gonna say to you is, thanks so much for sharing. Or, I really needed to hear that today. Thank you, you just helped me feel better.
And you know, the one thing with speaking is sometimes speaking and writing on ourselves, the person whose life you're saving is your own.
True. I agree.
Yeah, but really brave for you to come here, really. And can you check in?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
I was so sad you weren't here on Sunday. I know. She always has these amazing things to say, so accidentally she says them. They're amazing.
Accidentally. I'm actually really good. Like, I'm pretty awesome.
Good.
Yes, you are.
Well, we know you're awesome. Beside that, though, you're recovery-wise, you're feeling okay?
Yeah, I am. For today.
For today, and that's all it needs to be, ma'am, is for
Absolutely.
today,
Yeah.
right?
For
Thanks so
today.
much for coming.
Thank you for having this wonderful place to be.
Thank you. And Miss
I'm
L, I don't know if I'm allowed to say your
Yeah,
name.
you can say my name.
All right, Laura, spit out.
I'm great. I'm fantastic. I
Okay.
feel so good. And I was thinking about you guys last night. I had a moment of clarity where it was like, it dawned on me that I don't have to hide my feelings. And I don't have to, and I won't allow other people to make me feel bad for the feelings that I have.
Right, and can somebody make you feel bad?
No.
No, we
No.
do that to ourselves.
Right. So
Right?
it was one of those moments where it was like, because you this and you that, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second. It's like, I don't think so. I was like, that's your own cross and your own burden to carry, not mine.
Okay.
So it was just one of those moments where I was like, I just felt so grounded, and there was no emotion, no drama, no, there was
So
none of that.
you didn't take his hand.
I
So
didn't
he
take
reaches
his
his hand out to
I
dance.
didn't dance.
And you
I didn't
always
dance.
dance. That's
And
right.
I always dance,
Right.
and I didn't dance,
Good
and
girl.
I stood my ground, and
girl.
it was amazing.
And remember, standing your ground is just respecting yourself.
Yes.
That's it. It could always come from a place of love and kindness. Hey man, I know you're feeling like that and that's cool. I'm gonna go walk in the other room.
Yep.
Peace out. Right? Doesn't ever have to come from a place of anger or resentment or
And that's what I was
because
talking about. Like, it wasn't, that's what I'm saying when I felt so grounded. I didn't have the need to lash back. I mean, the things that were being said were like, wait, like, no. In my head, I was thinking, no, is what I was thinking. But I was like, I'm not even going to get in the defensive, because then that's taking his hand and dancing.
Right.
So I just said what I had to say, and I respect what you have to say. Don't necessarily agree with it, but so be it. And that was pretty much it. And ultimately, it ended up in such a positive way that I was like, oh, wow, like, that actually works.
So remember, you guys, we teach people how to treat us. If I treat myself with love and respect, you're going to treat me with love and respect as well. Because if you don't treat me with love and respect, I'm not going to hang with you. I'm going to hope the best for you, but I'm not going to hang out with you when you're not being respectful to me, right?
Yes.
And so that's me having a boundary where I'm going to hang with you and I'll be awesome to you as long as you're
awesome.
kind and caring and considerate of me as well.
Yes.
And that's okay. And it makes us feel like this. Instead of all the chaos and the buzz that we get from the chaos, you guys, because that chaos is a buzz, something happens and you call this one and you tell this one and you tell this one and they tell that one and now everybody's, oh, can you believe it? And our head is like, bah, 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 bah.
And then you go, fucker.
Right. And then you use.
And then you use.
But before that, all of that chaos that leads up to that is crap that we're making up on our own. Right?
I'm so pleased you actually brought this up, because we had a conversation last Friday as well. You know, being around family for me, that was very emotional, brought up old hurts. I mean, for me, it was like these things that started vested emotional contact. So who do I phone all the time? My bestie. So I phoned her and she said to me something really profound. And this was something I've been
said
thinking
something
about
really profound.
the whole weekend. She said you can either be right or you can be smart
No, happy.
and happy.
You can be
So
right
or you can be happy. And that happiness for me, I translated into smart, because smart for me is if I put my recovery first, by me getting upset just by having to be right and having the last word and letting my ego stand in the way is the worst thing for my recovery, because then I start getting irritable and anxious and resentful, and then it becomes all about the situation and not really the person that I want to be, which is loving, compassionate and kind. That's how I want to show up. And if here's an elderly person and this is the way that they are, I can be compassionate for the person who they are. I don't have to be right. You know, and sometimes letting go, but then there's the other side of it. I did get to say the things that I needed to say.
Right, because there's a difference between saying, okay, I don't have to be right, but that doesn't mean I have to shut up and not say what I have to say.
Right, but the
And
way
that's-
you frame it
right.
is very different when you look at it from that perspective instead of being reactionary. Before would have been that dog fight, and would get us all started and
The
then
dance
the whole
that we talk
families.
about, right. So remember,
That's awesome.
I can say anything about how I feel and come from a place of love. I don't need to tell you what you're doing wrong. I don't need to tell you what you're doing at all. The only thing that I need to do to be true to me is let you know how I feel. This happened and it made me sad. This happened and I felt unloved. This happened and I thought maybe it was too much responsibility for me. This, whatever it is that I'm feeling, I can say how I'm feeling, right? That's always going to be my truth, so that's always going to be okay for me. It's when you start the, well, you did this and you said this and I can't believe it, and with getting your point across, nobody cares. You want to tell me how you're right and I'm wrong? I don't care, because
Why
at that
don't we
point,
say that when you're in a situation, it's two people, whether you're a couple or best friends or family, when somebody's right and the other person's wrong, so one person wins and the other person loses,
they both
everybody
lose.
loses.
Yeah,
Everybody's
of course,
losing there.
Of course.
And I've
course.
always said that. It's like, no, you have to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think that the best way to do that is to just be honest about how you're feeling without having to attack because you're feeling vulnerable or you're feeling sad or whatever it is.
You're scared.
Right.
You're
don't
scared,
have to. You
right.
don't have to lash out because of
Because
it.
you're
You can
scared.
just say, "I'm feeling this way."
Mhm.
But for me, most importantly, it felt really good to say, "I'm feeling this way," despite the fact that you're telling me that I shouldn't be feeling this way.
And you know, you
So-
could have just said, just saying, I'm feeling this way, and let it go.
No, that's,
Then you're really not dancing.
I just had an epiphany. Before I used to have the 3-hour problems. Like I'd sit in room and you did this and you said that and he did that and the whole thing. Now it's become the 15-second problem. So
That's
now you
my
are
rule.
dead. I know,
That's
I've
my rule.
studied your rule, but it works. So when things shift, the problem becomes so small compared to the working on the solution, because you identify what it is. This is how you make me feel. This is the solution. I feel better and I feel that you love me and I feel heard and I feel understood and I feel cared for when you do this instead of the way that this was handled.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And still remember, if I'm saying to you, you know, I felt hurt and I'm lonely, so next time do me a favor and say this, you're gonna resent me. I'm just saying. So
Yes.
if I say, when you act like this, it makes me feel hurt and resentful and lonely, and I let it go, I'm not undermining your intelligence. I'm letting you make some decisions on your own. And
Right.
that's all I'm doing is telling you how I feel. Because remember, when people are pissed off, they're looking for any reason to fight.
Shit, you good.
So, you know, I know. I know. So even just that little bit of, and you know, if you could have done this, even that is, well, now she's telling me what to
Right.
do, and da-da-da-da-da. It's more the, if I just say how I feel, it ends there. That's all I have to do, is be true to my heart and say how I'm feeling, and that's all. If you accept it, awesome. If you don't accept it, awesome. Right? That part doesn't matter. Right?
Yes.
So, but great for you, because I know that that's such a big thing with you, and it's listen, it doesn't matter how long it takes us to get it, just matters that we know eventually that we can get it, right? It's like recovery. You don't need to be in recovery. You don't need to care about recovery. You don't need, as long as you're open-minded to the fact that other people have done it and gotten well.
And it doesn't mean that I'm gonna like do it all the time.
You're
goal
not?
The goal is to do it all the time whenever the situation comes up. But I'm saying, like, I was really thinking of you guys last night because it had this very clear, you know, grounded moment for me where I was like, yeah, you know, I stood my ground and I drew the line where, yeah, you're not going to disrespect me. I'm not going to allow you to. I'm not going to scream and yell and engage in all of that. and I did what I had to do. I said what I had to say. I expressed how I was feeling, and
I'm going to ask you to reframe one thing.
yes,
Instead of, I'm not going to allow you to respect me, even when you're thinking, because remember biology of the brain, we want to keep everything as positive as possible. We want our brain to hear as much positive stuff. Not, I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me, not allow us negative disrespect as negative. How about if you just think, today I'm going to respect myself
I can do that.
and let that go. Right? Nothing negative about it. Today I will respect myself.
Yes.
You know, the amazing thing about
Oh, you have a
working a
question.
program and being in a program, it's like working a recovery muscle. So the more you start working it, the easier it becomes. The first time it is, oh shit, that was actually pretty
that's kind of the
awesome.
moment I
But
had.
once you know it and you feel it,
Right.
then it's so much easier to tap in. The same as when the last time I relapsed, I knew what recovery looked like, so I didn't stand there beating myself. I didn't beat myself up.
I
did
beat
feel like
myself
shit.
up
I beat
for
myself
a long
up.
time when I
But I
relapsed.
didn't
I
beat
beat
myself
the shit out of myself.
up as long as I did the time before.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
I beat the shit out of myself. Question.
So I'm gonna combine two people's questions.
Two people's questions.
So Leanne, and
First
Lance.
question, part one.
Leanne and Lance.
Yeah, they're
Hi,
separate
Leanne
people.
and Lance.
They're separate people.
Yeah,
But Leanne says, I so relate to you ladies with your program. I want what you ladies have. How do I get it? What program do you follow? And Lance says, how can I get a workbook or more info? I've been looking for a group like this.
So you guys, we're going to be teaching classes. Everybody's going to have that information in a
21st
couple
of
of weeks.
October. Mark
Yeah,
it
the
on your
classes
calendar.
will start the 21st of October. The first class is going to be kind of small. It's going to be the people that come to this room are going to be offered it first. And then the people out there. And I wrote a workbook. And it's what we've talked about and what we've learned about in recovery. And we will do that work together. You've done that work. Angela, you've done that work. And we will learn to grow in recovery together. That's what we have to offer. You guys, any recovery program that you use is awesome. If you want to go to AA, NA, OA, church, talk to your rabbi, talk to your next door neighbor's dog, whatever works is amazing. We're going to go ahead and have some teachings and some classes that we've worked with each other that have really helped us out, and we're going to offer that to you guys as well.
Are the classes always going to be on Saturday?
We'll talk about that.
We are organic, we are grassroots, we are kind of feeling as we're going. I mean, it's really growing tremendously.
So we'll see. That's why I said I'm not dissing
So,
you.
yeah, what I'm
just
saying-
I'm not sure yet.
So what I'm saying is we're open to suggestions. So throw suggestions at us
Yeah,
and
we'll talk about that.
100% we'll talk about it.
Absolutely.
But you're starting the class October 21st.
21st, yeah. It's a 7-week course
Okay.
because there's a lot to go through and there's work to be done in between. Recovery
Right.
takes work. It's not, if it was an instant pull, I'd take 2.
But we're addicts. I would
Yeah.
take 12. If one workbook is good and 2 are really good, 12 is like
pulls
awesome.
were never my thing though.
Yes, but cookies
I'd
were.
have 4
Or
portions.
whatever. Okay, there
Exactly.
you go. There you go.
So, yeah, we're going to be starting that. Stay posted. Watch our downsizing weight loss group.
You got it
I got it right. Okay. So we post, just so you know, let me give you the format. We have a Facebook page called Why Wait for Recovery. And we have a private group that is members only. You have to be an addict. or you just really need
Only 8
to
billion
come
of
talk
you
to
out
us.
there.
Right, we're not, that's a no charge thing. But at least it's a closed format so we can talk freely.
Yeah.
It is for us to share tools, techniques, and things that really help us recover, because at the end of the day, whatever makes us happy and healthy is key. That recovery is essential. We also have a Sunday morning meeting, 9 a.m. Put it in your calendars, same format. I am urging everyone, register, join us on Zoom, because we can see you, we can hear you. No one else in this room can see you but us two. It is better doing this face to face than just watching us over Facebook, because over Facebook it is more of a soap drama and it's easy to distance yourself than actually to be talking. We encourage you to rat on yourself, come talk to us, and join our and step into the community by communicating with us.
Yeah, and remember, you guys, any step that you take is a step.
100%.
Anything that you, and sometimes it don't even matter why, it just matters that you are, right? Sometimes it doesn't really matter why we show up. We show up, and whatever the universe has intended for us at that moment is what's going to happen, right?
Yes.
So, did we answer that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and the reason why I showed up is because I couldn't do things on my own anymore. The way I'd been doing things for 42 years wasn't working for me. Me taking control of my situation and trying to fix it on my own really did not work. It took a whole lot of different things, which is a mind, body, soul experience. For me, there's a spiritual side of recovery as well that is essential in my recovery, but that's not what we're discussing tonight.
No, and well, and the spiritual side of our recovery is listen, anytime we're changing for the better, we're having some type of spiritual awakening.
Right.
Every time we are using any of those, you know, the 12 steps of AA have spiritual principles behind them. Those principles are honesty, hope, faith, perseverance, brotherly love, integrity, courage, right? Those things, those are all spiritual principles. So anytime we're becoming better like that and better in our recovery, the better in the recovery always hinges on how honest we are. And so the more honest we are, I mean, what does the universe want from us, right? To do our best. I believe that the universe wants from us to do our best, to be honest, open, caring, and to reach our hand out to another person, right? That's what I believe. And so, yeah, it's definitely a spiritual experience, definitely. So, yeah, it's cool that you said that, because we're changing spiritually for the better.
Actually, that's a great topic at some stage, why spiritual and religious are not necessarily the same
got
thing.
nothing to do with each other, right?
Right. So for me, it was something I couldn't do on my own. I needed help from my higher power. That's between me and them. But I took something great. I took a program. I took working the steps, doing the work, showing up, putting my broken ass. Even if your ass is broken, put it in a seat. Come to the meeting. But it actually took me just doing those steps, and I still do them today. I go to meetings. I'm the addict. If I've got to do 90 meetings in 90 days, I'll do 90 meetings in 90 seconds. I will continually go to meetings until I start feeling healthy in myself to be able to know that I'm back on track where I'm comfortable and working a program.
Yeah, and the reason why in the rooms why they have that 90 meetings in 90 days, that's to help you form a habit. And so the little thing that we do, our gratitude list, still has us doing something every single day toward our recovery, even when it's such a little teeny tiny simple thing. Still something that we're doing toward our recovery. 90 meetings in 90 days is so that every single day for 3 months, you're spending at least an hour working toward your recovery, even if you're not doing nothing else.
So why is gratitude so important to an addict?
First of all, our life is only the way that we perceive it to be, right? So,
what about me?
So either I look at my life in this moment and I think that, wow, this is great and this is great and this is great and this is great, or look at my life in this moment and I think this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. I'm right here where I am. So right now I could think of 10 things that I'm grateful for, or I could choose to look at 10 things that make me irritable, discontent, and resentful, right? And so for me, I choose to look at what's better because it helps to change my brain chemistry. It allows me to share with others, right? We do it on our app, so it allows us to share with others. It allows others to kind of let us know where we are. It allows us to be part of a community, and all of those things are part of recovery.
So from what I'm understanding, you're choosing happy instead of resentment.
Mm-hmm. And remember, you guys, we're going to be resentful, and we're going to be angry, and we're going to be sad, and we're going to be all of those things because life is going to happen. It's just how long do we want to stay there, and how long do we want to keep it inside, keep stuffing our feelings no matter what we're stuffing it with, and keep that inside instead of reaching out and say, hey, I'm a human being having this experience and I really need some help. And in turn, probably help somebody out in the long run, right? That's a choice that we get to make.
Robin?
This is said in jest, but also a legit question.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know when when I have recovered?
Okay.
Or is that even a thing?
So they say in the big book that we do recover. Now, are we always addicts? Absolutely. Chemically, are our brains always the brain of an addict? Yes. Will it ever be okay for you if I have one drink?
No.
Why? Why will it never be okay with you if I have one drink?
One is never enough.
Right. Why is one never enough? Because my brain is wired different than the next door neighbor's brain is. So we know, and I've tried, believe me, that I can't take that one isn't, it's not even in my vocabulary when it comes to drug or alcohol or a day of starving myself. There's no such thing as one. So that we know. So we know that my brain, I'm always going to be an addict, and that's okay. Do I recover from that helpless, hopeless state of mind? Do I wake up in the morning and not have that mental obsession and that physical craving? Yes. I do wake up in the morning and not have that obsession and that craving. So that part I do recover from. An addict is an addict is an addict is an addict. That's just the way that it is. So will I ever be able to use successfully? No. Will I ever be able to have that for you? Are you ever going to be able to have, you know, a half of a crescent and, you know, some potato chips on the side? No, you won't. And that's okay, because you can make better choices. And in the end, making those better choices are choices that you're making to keep yourself happy and healthy. Remember, anytime we think that we could go back and use just a little bit, that's our addict piece of shit brains. Ooh, my strength doesn't like when I say that. That's our addict, horrible addiction mode brain that's lying to us, that's telling us, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. It'll be okay this time. We'll just do it once. We're just going to do it until Monday. We're going to start again. Nobody's going to know. All of those lies that we tell ourselves, right? Every time we pick up on a lie. All of those lies that we tell ourselves to 5 minutes to let our addiction get the better of us. So do we recover? Yes, we recover from the mental obsession and the physical craving. We recover from being horrible, from feeling absolutely horrible, and having that feeling of, you know, just that horrible feeling where we can't sit with ourselves comfortably. Right? And that feeling of shame and of guilt and of torturing ourselves, that we're gonna get better. That's not gonna stay with us.
So I just want to translate that into the food as well.
Oh, say the name of the Facebook group. So it's downsizing weight loss. We know Why Wait for Recovery is spelled with W-E-I-G-H-T.
There's a link on the Why Wait for Recovery page. You can just click the link and we'll take you straight into the group.
Yeah, that's the private group.
A lot of people are asking about Zoom. We'll put up information before
It's
Sunday.
I'll tell you exactly where it is. Facebook, on our Facebook page, it's under events. Just click the events button. It is right there. It will help you log in.
Yeah, and we'll put it up anyway, even not under events. We're just going to say, if you want to be on Zoom, click here.
Right.
And then that'll take you to Zoom, so that you can either be in the meeting with your computer or be in the meeting with your phone.
So I just want to translate what you were discussing in terms of food addiction is very insidious. So for us, everyone is different. It's not, you know, every single person has different triggers. For me, I have certain foods. Mine are the starches, the wheats, the flour, you know, all that kind of stuff. That is what triggers me to crave more, want more, keep using. Those are the things that I get swollen and just want more and keep eating. But so for me, those are absolute no-nos. I'll never be normal enough to be able to, or never normal to be able to keep going back, even though I want to. Because I think I'm thin, I can do this, it's just one bite. But I know what it feels like when I was at the other place where I was really, really miserable. And that to me is the door to misery.
You guys, addiction is always our door to misery. It's actually our door to hell.
And it's also the door to the greatest joy that you'll ever experience as well once you are in it.
Recovery.
Right, recovery.
Right.
Not the addiction. Like,
yeah.
So we are starting to come to almost to the end. I just wanted to say thank you. Can you?
Jessica, we got this beautiful card from Jessica.
Thank you so much. Hugs from Florida, by the way. Thank you.
I'm glad you got it.
We got it. Thank you so much. And I know I missed your phone call a couple of nights in a row, so I'll make sure to keep my phone on because I have it off at work, so I'll make sure to keep my phone on.
Can we just go around the room quickly if anyone's got a burning desire or something?
Does anybody need to say something right now?
No.
No, really. Does anybody need to say something before they leave? You know, that they don't want to leave the room without saying.
Okay. Go for it.
It was just a question.
Yeah.
We're just making sure everybody's okay. Everything's kosher with everybody.
So we do read our posts on Facebook and messages. If you've got ideas, things you want to see, things you want to hear, talk to us. Okay.
And also, you guys, for me, I have 2 jobs. I have a zillion patients that text me and they whatever. If you IM me and you don't hear back from me, it's not because I ain't paying attention to you. It's because I'm old and I'm busy. So if anybody needs me or needs any information from me, please IM me. And if you don't hear right back, either I am Haiti or Ange, or just IM me again, because eventually I'll remember that you did that. And it's my great pleasure to get back with you. So thank you.
So we have to wrap up.
Okay, and we don't.
So
do
we
the
will
politics
see
tonight,
you
right?
we will see you Sunday 9 a.m. Same place, same time. Well, just in the morning.
Right.
daytime.
9 o'clock in the morning.
But just please, one of the things of being in recovery is being of service, because what you don't give, you don't keep. So in terms of giving recovery and giving of yourself to others helps us stay in recovery. This is why we do what we do. Please share our videos. Share it with people who are in pain and really suffering. This is a horrific disease to live with, and we really want to reach as many people as possible.
This has been Why Wait for Recovery Wednesday. It's really not wacky, but
It's all
Wacky
wacky
Wednesday. A little wacky meeting. I'm blessed and grateful to be in recovery. I'm so blessed that all of you are here with us tonight. And for everybody out there, anybody struggling in recovery, we're all right here. We've all been right there. Thank you so much. Much gratitude from my heart.
And I'm so blessed and grateful for all of you and to be here today. And I just send you much love, and I look forward to seeing you.
Recovery is awesome.
It is.
Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.